welcome to Cooking It Real. I'm Kathy. Today I want to do something that to me speaks summer. Summer, summer! It's one of my favorite summer foods and something that I only have during the summer. What is it? Gazpacho. What's gazpacho? That's a funny name. It's a cold soup or drink made of fresh, raw vegetables. Now, here we go. Is it a soup? Is it a drink? That's up to you. You can use it either way. But either way, there are some basic vegetables that are included in just about every gazpacho, and that's what we're going to do today. In fact, I'm going to do my wing it gazpacho. That's what I'm calling this, my wing it gazpacho. Why do I call it wing it gazpacho? Because I don't really use a recipe. I just throw stuff in, and I like to make it in my blender. If you don't have a powerful blender, you can make it in a food processor. You can even make it in a bowl. But typically, gazpacho is either whizzed up till it's a juice, or it is put through a strainer or a mill until it is silky and smooth. Well, today we're going to do it the way I like to do it, which is like keeping those vegetables raw, not blending them into oblivion, but just enjoying them for the fresh, beautiful tastes of summer that they are. All right, let's get started. The first of the veggies that you're going to find in absolutely every gazpacho is tomato, okay? And that's why it's a beautiful summer dish, because that's when tomatoes are at their best. All right. Another thing is cucumber, pepper. This is a Cubanelle pepper. You can use like a red pepper. Sometimes a green bell pepper is just a little too strong. I prefer a pepper like this, more sweet. A little bit of onion. I'm not going to use all of this, just a little. Some garlic. I might add some jalapeno. That's something that I like to do. And then you have your seasonings. You have just your basic salt, a little bit of pepper, and this is a key right here. Red wine vinegar. Now, classically, they would use sherry vinegar. I don't have sherry vinegar. I don't really like sherry vinegar, but I do like red wine vinegar, so that's what I'm using today. And we need some olive oil. Let's get started. I'm just going to make one blender full of gazpacho today, and I'm going to start with my tomato. What I want to do is just cut it up into chunks. I've already washed it. And I will also tell you that I have already cut up some tomatoes here. This is about 3 of these tomatoes. So altogether, I'm going to use 4 tomatoes. I'm going to put this in just like that. I didn't peel them or anything like that. If you don't have a powerful blender and you're going to use a food processor only, you might want to take the skin off of your tomatoes. If so, you do that by taking the whole tomato, scoring the bottom with a sharp knife, and dropping it into a pot of boiling water, leaving it in there for about a minute or so until the skin starts to pull away. Then you put it in some cold water to shock it, and then you can peel the peel off very easily. Now, the tomatoes that I just put into the blender, I juiced. That is to say, I took out most of the juice, like you're seeing here, that's getting on my board. And, that's up to you how juicy you want it, whether you leave that in or take that out. But I'm going to leave it in for this tomato, and I took it out for the rest. Before I put these in, I got a little bowl right here. I'm going to take about this much of the tomato, about this much, and I'm going to cut it into very small pieces, because I'm going to add a little bit of chopped veg on the top of my gazpacho as a garnish. Just give it a little extra texture. When I make it in my food processor, I don't even bother doing this, because the food processor doesn't liquefy it as much as my Vitamix does, and it has enough texture. There we go. Let's see. That good? Yeah, that's good. This is optional. You don't have to do this. There we go. All right. Now this is going to go in here. And we'll get on to our next veggie. Oop, get that juice all in there. Beautiful. All right. Next comes the cucumber. This is just your basic grocery store cucumber. If you're growing them in your garden and you've got cucumbers galore, use those. And I say kudos to you. I don't have a lot of success with cucumbers. I think it might be just too dang hot, and that could be why. So what you want to do is you want to peel them. Choom, choom, choom. And cut off the ends. And my mom always used to take the ends and go like this. Rub them on the end. She said it took away the bitterness. Whether it does or not, I have no idea. But I just do it because she did it. All right, let's get rid of these peels for the worms. And we're going to take a little bit of that cucumber and chop that up for our garnish into tiny chunks. Real pretty like. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. That's not very much, but that's okay. And this, now if you want to, you can take the seeds out or you can leave them in. I'm going to leave them in. I'll just add more flavor, more juiciness. Chunk, chunka, chunka. Whoop. Chunka, chunka, chunka. And like I say, this is my wing it recipe, so I'm not measuring anything. So a few tomatoes, 1 cucumber, and now I got this is my Cubanelle pepper. I'm not growing this either. Got this at the grocery store. This year I'm growing just jalapenos and poblanos. My jalapenos, they're starting to come on, and that's really cool. But my poblanos are just still teeny tiny. And I don't know if they're going to make it or what, or they're just being dramatic and waiting till later in the season. We'll see. It's one of those things. You can't rush Mother Nature. All right, that's good. That's good. Cut this up just a little bit. Let's see, shall I? Yeah, let me get a little bit of this pepper for garnish. Beauty. All right. I could probably throw that whole thing in whole because this blender can whiz up a 2x4, I swear. All right, now let's see. Onion. Okay, now a lot of people don't do raw onion. They just don't dig it. I happen to like it. Doesn't bother me a bit, but I'm only going to use a little. I'm just going to take like this size of a wedge. Put this in the worm pile. Take off the brown skin. You can use green onion. You can use red onion, whatever you like. I'm just going to put that in there. Now I'm going to put in some garlic. That also is up to your taste. If you've been here for any length of time, you know how much we like garlic here. So I am going to take off the end of this. And this has a little bit of a smudgy spot there, which I'm going to take off too. Throw that whole thing in there. And because that had a little off, I'm going to use another one. I'm not afraid of no garlic. But this is totally up to you. I'd add a little bit. If you really, really dislike garlic or it doesn't agree with you in some way, then leave it out. You can. Now for the jalapeno part. What should I do? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to cut it up for my garnish. And I don't know if you know this or not. I remember I learned this some time ago, but it's still like, I think it's really cool. The tip, the end of the jalapeno, is the least spicy part. It gets hotter and hotter the closer you get to the seeds, which come down to about here on this size of a jalapeno. I didn't know that. So if anyone ever challenges you, or if you want to challenge someone to a jalapeno eating contest, make sure you take the first bite. And if you bite it down by the bottom, you'll definitely get the less hot bite. Now that could be kind of a mean thing, but you never know. All right, I'm gonna just go here. Let's see, we're just barely getting seeds and ribs. I might even take those seeds out and just leave a bit of the rib. I don't want it too spicy. My soup, my drink. Okay, I'm just going to toss that in. I'm going to save that for something else. All right, let's see. I think that's all the veggies. All right, now it's time to whiz it up. Okay, so we have to move things over a little bit because I don't have an extension cord handy that has that extra prong. All right, so can you see it? I think you can. We're just going to start blending this up nice and slow. I've got it on variable, lowest of 0, off. Now turn it on slow. Start turning it up. All right, I'm going to turn that off. And we're going to take a quick look and see what we got for texture here. Oh, see that? Can you see that? That's still got a little bit of texture. That's just the way I like it. All right. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our seasonings. Very simple. We're just going to add some salt. This is going to be about, I'm going to add because it's nice and fresh vegetables, it can take a little more salt than usual. That's a good teaspoon and a quarter of salt. I'm going to take just about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper, and secret weapon here, not secret, but an important element is the red wine vinegar. I'm going to start with just a couple of teaspoons. Let's see. 1, 2-ish. Okay. I'm going to give that a whiz for a second and a taste. Okay. Give that a taste. That's good. Needs a little more vinegar. You want to be able to taste the tanginess. Now you can use sherry vinegar if you want. You can use apple cider vinegar, rice wine vinegar, whatever you like, white wine vinegar. I just happen to like this. Okay. More taste. Double dipping's okay when it's all family. That's good. That's good. I'm going to add just a little bit more vinegar. So I guess now I'm going to say that's about a tablespoon and a half, maybe. Okay, calling that. Some people will take bread that has been moistened and add that into the blender. Similar how you might do it for like meatballs or something along those lines. Personally, I don't need those carbs. I think it tastes just great the way it is. And so that's the way I'd like to do it. Now, we have one more ingredient that we're going to add. We're going to add some olive oil. Now, the amount of olive oil really depends on you as well. And I like to turn it on, turn my blender on, and add the oil as it's going. And then that way it sort of emulsifies the gazpacho. Okay, so I have my top to my blender is open. Make sure it's on good and tight. I'm going to start it off slow, get it going, and then add my olive oil. There we go. Good. I think I added just like about 3 tablespoons there. I don't know if you can tell how the color has changed. It's gotten more salmon-y colored, but I'm going to give this a taste. Oh, that's good. If you don't want to add olive oil, you don't have to. It gives it a richness and a smoothness. At this point now, if you wanted to, you could put this through a sieve, like just a fine strainer, pour it in over a bowl, press down on the solids to get all the liquids out, and you'll have a smooth and silky soup/drink. Or you can do what I'm going to do and just take this blender, put it in the fridge for a couple of hours, let it get nice and chilled, and then I'll serve it up later. I think what I might also do is get a little bit of fresh basil from the garden and blend that in first. What do you think about that? Let's go get some basil. Let's get the basil from the green stalk. Let's see. This looks like I'm just going to nip off this little bit here. That's about all we need. Beautiful. I'm going to save just the tip of this basil for my garnish. Put that in here. And now let's take the leaves off. Yeah, I could probably wash this, but I don't use any sprays or anything like that. It's all organic. So I'm just going to throw it in. Boom. That's my spoon. Okay. Just going to put a little bit of plastic over this, like so. I'm going to put it in the fridge, and we'll see you in a couple hours. Okay, you can give it a quick blend before you serve it. Oh, listen to that. This is the sound of summer. And you know what? Is it a soup? Is it a drink? You make the call. You want to splash a little clear spirits in there? That wouldn't be a bad thing. You can add a little Tabasco sauce if you like. I'm going to add some of those chunky veg. You can garnish this with some feta cheese is nice. Or you could take some of the tomatoes and substitute watermelon for that and make a watermelon gazpacho. That would be equally nice. If you're bold and brave and you want to put a jalapeno slice in there, you can do that too. Get a little basil leaf. Here we go. Beautiful. Now I'm going to get my trusty taste tester in here and we'll tell you what it tastes like. All right, so here we go. Cheers. Let's try it.
Oh, that's good.
Oh man, that's so fresh.
Yes.
And refreshing. Oh, it tastes just like the veggies. Oh, I like that little bit of basil. Can you taste the basil in it?
Yes.
Just barely, but good. Mm.
Little jalapeno, little um, cucumber.
Yep, lots of cucumber, not lots, but a little bit of onion, a Cubanelle pepper, tomatoes, cucumber, pepper, garlic, and a little bit of onion. And a little
Garlic
jalapeno.
makes it kind of savory and
Oh my
punches
gosh, I
up the
love this.
saltiness of it.
Mm.
I
Is
like
it a
it.
soup or is it a drink?
Soup.
Soup.
Cold soup.
Cold soup. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Mm.
Maybe a drink.
Cold soup.
Pour a little vodka in there. Maybe a little tequila on the
Oh,
side.
then it'd be a drink.
Yeah, that'd be a good drink. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for joining me, friends. I know this was really quick. My winging it gazpacho. We're going to finish enjoying this on this hot summer day. And as always, I thank you for joining me. If you've had a good time in this video, if you've learned anything, give me a thumbs up. It really helps people find my channel. So until next time, keep cooking it real. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, good. Mm.